Have you ever been hired to offer consultancy services? Was the payment you received the same as what was stipulated in the agreement you signed? If not, the amount received was probably less withholding tax. As our reporter Caroline Njenga explains in this week's episode of Tax 101, withholding tax is levied at varying rates of between 5% and 20% on a range of payments to residents and non-residents.
Withholding tax is income withheld by a person making payment for consultancy service and remitted to Kenya Revenue Authority. Withholding tax applies to the payer and the payee. The payer is a person who is making payment and withholds some money to remit to KRA, while the payer is the recipient of the income being held. For example, when marketing companies pay commissions to their marketers, they withhold some of the commissions and pay to KRA as a tax on behalf of the marketers.
Section 10 of the Income Tax Act lists for lands the various items that we ought to deduct withholding tax from. They include legal fees, audit fees, management, professional fees. They include contractual fees. It also includes royalties, interest, dividends, and the like.
Withholding tax is levied at varying rates of between 5% and 20%.
Payment in respect to royalties for residents is at 5%, where that for non-residents is at 20%. Winnings from gaming and betting is at 20%, both for residents and non-residents. Management fees for residents is at 5%, while that of non-resident is at 20%.
For Kenyans, withholding tax is not a final tax, but for foreigners it is a final tax. Withholding tax is not an additional tax, rather it is a payment of tax in advance on the income of the payee.
Withholding tax that's deductible to the resident, except for cases of qualifying interest and qualifying dividends, is not a final tax. What that means is, like the case we have given for professional fees, 5% is the rate on residents. What that means, this professional who has been paid this amount and 5% have been deducted from them, the 95% they got, they ought to declare the whole 100% come the end of the year, and less the 5%. And you see the tax on individuals is at the graduated scale rate. So come the end of the year now, since this income, the profit from that consultancy should be taxed at 30%, or at the graduated scale rate to a maximum of 30%, then that means only 5% have been deducted. The balance of 25% is payable.
In incidences where the tax is not final, it is claimable by the payee. The amount withheld should be remitted to KRA on or before the 20th of the following month. Payment of withholding tax is done online via iTax. Penalty for late filing is either 5% of the tax payable or 20,000 shillings, whichever is higher.